Today's postcard is from Hove in none of this East or West Lark, simply in Sussex.
Nothing like, quite like the British seaside in autumn. And this is an early October morning. Look at the English Channel there. Absolutely fierce and furious. And the wind is blowing blustery. Breathe in that fresh air. I think it's time to go a little bit inland. I think the cobwebs have definitely gone now. Now, this is the Jaipur Gate, and it was carved by the people of Rajasthan and presented over to this country for the India and Colonial Exhibition in South Kensington in 1886. And it was re-erected here in Hove, Sussex in 1926. Now, I've asked around and asked why Hove, and no one knows actually. Still nice. Like the new hairdo. Well, actually, it's not a wig, but it's the work of Tadek Buklich. I think I've said that right, because he was born in Poland in 1922. And what I will say right is Ditchling, because he lived in Ditchling, a little Sussex village just up the road from Hove. And now all of his work is displayed here in Hove Museum, which is a museum not just for history, but for work of contemporary artists. And you don't get more contemporary than this. Now here's a fine example of Chelsea pottery. This little dish that was painted in enamel colours around about 1755. And Chelsea pottery was near the Physic Garden. And that's why you have such an influence of floral patterns and things, because of course it's a very important botanical garden. I'm not having a cup of tea actually. I'm just trying to be like Lady Rebecca Herbert, very refined. That's her husband. That's the 16th Baron Abergavenny. Abergavenny. Do you remember Marty Wilde, actually? The song about that, taking a trip up to Abergavenny. Well, I've come to Hove, and they're here in the tea room of Hove Museum, where they're on loan. I suppose they'll be going back to Abergavenny and Monmouthshire pretty soon. Oh, and his name, by the way, real name, is William Neville. You know, I didn't know that Hove was one of the centres of the British movie industry. Well, when I say centres, did you know that Hove had one of the very first studios in filmmaking in this country? And they were making films here in the 1890s. And here are the plans of one of the studios, Wilbury Road in Hove, where they could actually do their filmmaking. I find this quite incredible. And here we've got some of the earliest films shot here in Hove. Quite amazing. When Brighton was beginning to boom in the 18th century, Hove was left behind. And Hove became a centre for smuggling. Now, I'm in St Andrew's Church, and St Andrew's Church is where most of the contraband was stored, either in the churchyard here, or there was one instance where the vicar came to preach a service, and his colleague said, "I'm sorry, you can't preach in the church today because the church is full of tubs and the pulpit is full of tea." It's also said that there was, leading from the seafront right the way down there, a tunnel which led from the sea into the church. And most of the contraband and the booty came from Ostend and some of the smaller French towns along the coast.
Yeah, all right. I know Ostend's in Belgium.